I mean, some of it is about your DNA, and DNA just is around what you believe is as an institution, and I will mention why we've stayed on. But it's also good to demystify the belief about leavers. There is no place to live. I mean, Africans cannot get benefit or change development by leaving. Correct? I mean, let's look at it from a global, and this is important for us in Burundi today. No country has been built by outsiders, whether it's France or North America or China. No, every country is built by its own people. So by disappearing, you are not building the footprint of development in your nation. So that's one thing. So leavers never develop. What you should be focusing on is the ones who remain in a country. And I know difficult situations arise, but we've been in a business as a country. We've been in a bank more than 100 years. So we're involved in building the first railway. That's more than 100 years ago. So we're a long-term player, and this belief, you also must challenge, especially if you speak to largely young populations, about this instantaneous discovery of wealth and riches by doing nothing. You're not investing, you just wake up, right? And this is the problem in the world today. You are very digitally connected. You want to be like kids in Tokyo or in Japan, or in London or in San Francisco. You want to be, but you don't want to invest. You don't want to put effort and money and investment. So one thing I will say about, there's enough time we'll go through hurdles. In fact, the world today is about building from the platform that you left before. That is how Uber has been built, Facebook has been built, Google has been built, or even how Alibaba is built. Now we talk about the Chinese developments, right? The WeChat of the world has been built. That's important to see it. We can't be African progressing by using other people's platforms. Why don't we have our own Facebook? Why don't we have our own WeChat? Why don't we have our own WhatsApp? So I am a big fan of encouraging young people that part of progress is making mistakes. And countries make mistakes. And this is such a beautiful country, very resilient country. Difficult arise. I don't know one country which hasn't had difficulties. Not France, not the United States, not Canada, none. All the countries go through challenges. So it's about investing collectively. And for us, we tend to look in the long run. If the curve is naturally building for the future, we get progress. This is important for you. And we also see huge potential in our country in Burundi. This is important to remember. Because if we look at where we are strategically positioned as a country, the opportunities we see within the region that we operate, the integration that happens back and forth in the region where we are a member country, there is a chance, and obviously the peace process that is now coming through in Burundi, there is a fantastic opportunity for us to remain and take advantage of the growth agenda for our countries. And lastly, we invest in the communities where we do our business. Our natural belief is to empower the communities who are our customers, our partners, to get a better tomorrow, to get out of poverty, to increase their levels of income. That is what we exist to do across the region. And I think if there's a country with the greatest potential today, it's Burundi. And that's why I'm here for this visit. But I would say two things if I'm encouraging our young people actually. So, obviously practice naturally will make you get better. So and I'm very excited to see great mentors in our market overall. So you to mention about Strife Masiwa, who is one of the strongest leaders we have in Africa today, especially in our part, or Mohamed Deuji, who runs one of the largest businesses in this part of the world, and is a personal friend. So being able to follow and learn from the founders, there's something we call the value of longevity. Now, most of our young Africans don't like this. They say you are older, you are 40, you have no view, you can't give advice. But if you look at people like Dangote today, they have spent enough time building multi-billion business in the continent. And it's important to follow that trajectory that they have followed. Learn from them, follow from them, connect with them on the social media, connect with them using their blogs, get them on Facebook. And you're going to be able to be convicted about creating possible. You're going to be able to do it. Sometimes you may not always be perfect. So I've been privileged to plug into leaders who have been there and shared their experiences. It's very important. You also must know who your friends are, especially we worry so much about young people who our friends are. Don't link with people who are going nowhere. Don't be closer to guys who actually are blind. They have no purpose in life. They are going nowhere at all. They are not making an investment. So you're going to choose. And if you're going to speak to Strive Masiwa, he will tell you straight on, this is right, this is wrong. You may like it, you may not like it, but that's it. The few who choose it, they make a big difference. Those who don't, and I think that's a huge opportunity today. I think if there's one greatest asset our young people have, it's the mobile, right? But they never use it to build. I'm very excited to see, I truly salute the young people who follow leaders, people who have done it before. Otherwise, we spend all our time, a whole day, the whole night on Facebook and WhatsApp and chit chat and Instagram. But what are you going to get out of it? And I have been privileged to been in Silicon Valley. I was studying in the United States. I have been able to study in the US, in France. I've been in the United Kingdom. And I have seen what the young people do. They are willing to slog away in a restaurant. Correct? You see that? You traveled, you can see. Yeah? You walk into a cafeteria in, I'll give you a good example. Like, you know, one of the biggest coffee shop that you will walk in the world today, Starbucks, right? You'll find the young people trying to learn how to make the coffee, how to mix it, to decaf it, do lattes. But generally, our African kids don't want to do it. Correct? They want to go on holiday, right? Correct? That, it's the same age. I'm talking about 20, 25-year-old kids. If you can't practice, you can't invest in getting yourself better off, it's very difficult to exponentially create wealth. That's what we need to learn. Japan, I mean, it's a fantastic example. And I'm not asking us to be Japanese, but Japan's today, they will start their day at 6, they'll finish their day at 10 or 11 or midnight. Now, I don't ascribe for that long day, but just look at what Japan do. They make the best cars, right? Japan has been one of the most innovative countries in the world for the last 50 years. No one is born a leader today. I mean, this is a very important point. Nobody today, you know, in the past you were told that you are born leaders or you're not. Leaders you learn leadership. That's what Nelson Mandela said many times. He said clearly that education is one way to naturally equalize every opportunity for every person in the continent. So you got some education, you can be the Barack Obama, right? You can be the Nelson Mandela that can be there. You can be the Michelle Obama that talked about. So that is the opportunity I see. And I am learning every day. People see a CEO who's been, I mean, I wasn't worried, by the way. Let me say, it's an African concern. I was worried I was a young CEO. 10 years ago, I went to see a friend of mine in Tokyo, in Japan. It was in 2002. He was 25. He was already a CEO for a company in Japan. I was struggling even to be a senior manager at that time. And here we were worried. You know, it's a 35-year-old becoming a CEO and we start getting worried it's an issue. And then finally, what is the purpose for you as a person, as a young person, as a young Burundian? What do you want to do in life? What impact do you want to create? Because sometimes people leave, but they have already died. Without vision, it's very biblical actually. My people perish because they have no vision. And whether you're Muslim or you're Hindu or you're Christian, doesn't matter. So many times we're walking around. So I always ask these questions. Mogesha, whether if you're walking around, you have a smartphone, you have a notebook, ask who has their purpose with them in their pocket. Many times they have thousands of WhatsApp, not a single purpose. Walk with it on your pocket, remind yourself. I always used to walk with my mission statement to be a CEO by 40. I was a CEO at 36. I used to walk with it. You see the difference? What you read, what you believe, what you convict is what you become.